Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for this Wednesday slate. We have 7 games tonight. Once again, a lot of mispriced players on DraftKings. Last night, Bogdanovich saved the lineup, able to make out in double ups on DraftKings, and FanDuel put up a 313, so cashed in everything. Let's keep it rolling today. Well, let's get into it. You can like the video down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Starting off here at point guard. There's a couple guys that aren't mispriced. Harden, LeBron James, I think they're priced exactly where they should be. Harden is probably going to get either Paul George. Probably not going to get Paul George even. He's probably going to get locked up by Kawhi. Even though Harden doesn't really get locked up by anybody. But I think the matchup is tough, even though he has a green 22 next to his name. I think the Clippers are definitely going to put either one of their two best defenders on Harden. LeBron is priced where he should be, 10-7. He's not anything that I'm getting super excited about on this slate, even though the Warriors are really bad defensively. I think there are so many better plays than to pay up for a 10-7 LeBron. Don't mind Lillard at 92. I think that price tag is still appealing just because he is just the entire offense, basically, him and McCollum. But lately, it's just been Damian Lillard. He's been consistent the whole year. McCollum has his ups and downs. He scored at least 20 points in every game. He has dished out at least 5 assists in every game except one. Rebounds, assists, steals, does it all. So he's definitely a solid option. I like D'Lo at 8,100 just because he has just been the man for the Warriors since he's been back from his injury. Been consistent, playing solid minutes, shooting the ball well. His usage rate is insane. Matched up against the Lakers, it is a tough one, but last time he showed he can have success in any matchup where he put up 50 fantasy points against the Jazz. Price tag went down. He does have 70, 80 point upside. Definitely not going to have Lou Williams at 7,200. Van Fleet's still interesting just because he's playing so many minutes. He's priced at a point where you're going to need him to have a big game. But last time he played 45 minutes in regulation. The team as a whole just put up 88 points. And they're even more banged up as OG Anunoby played 2 minutes in that game and then he was out. And he's going to miss this game. So they're definitely very, very thin. And Ben Simmons, for whatever reason, is down to 6,800. I think on a slate where there's so many mispriced players, he definitely stands out. But the matchup is also tough. It's not like he's facing the Hornets or facing the Warriors. He's facing a tough Magic team, which is probably going to put Jonathan Isaac on him. McCollum is still cheap at 6,300. He's been better the last couple games. Definitely a guy you can look at. And then for value here, we have Isiah Thomas going back to Boston. He hasn't played over 30 minutes yet this year, but in this game, I think if there's any game that he's going to see solid minutes and good minutes, it's going to be this one heading back to Boston. If Jeff Teague is active, 46 is just so cheap for Jeff Teague. There's just so many cheap players on the slate, and that's pretty much it. So the guy I want is probably going to be Van Fleet at 71 just because the matchup is great against the Blazers. They are just bad defensively. They are giving up so many fantasy points. 2 point guards, if you look at the DVP, or if you just search on Google DraftKings points given up by position, there's a nice handy-dandy chart that Fantasy Pros has available for free. The Blazers have been getting wrecked by point guards here. Him and Siakam are just going to play basically the entire game, minus a couple minutes. So really, really solid floor for cash, and he has the upside in tournaments. At shooting guard, definitely love Russell at 81. Wiggins is fine too, 79. Can't believe I'm saying that, but Wiggins been playing really well this year. And I think Brown is priced where he should be, 7,300. More value here, you could go like Powell at 49, although his price tag is coming up. I kind of like Dylan Brooks a lot, 4,400. He's a little bit of a hit or miss option, but price tag is really appealing. He's gone from 56, 59 to 5K. Down to 4,400 in a really good matchup against the Hornets. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. The games that he struggled this year have been at Orlando, a really tough defensive team. Against the Lakers, tough defensive team. In solid matchups, solid pace-up matchups, he's played very well. The Grizzlies play at a fast pace. 4,400 for Brooks is definitely something to get a little bit excited about, I think. Just because he's not going to be popular and he can put up 30, 35 fantasy points. But a shooting guard, I'm going to go with D'Lo just because Another guy that has a really solid floor just with the amount of minutes and usage he plays. Last time out, it was a blowout, so I'm not sure if he closed. He only saw 32 minutes compared to the 34 minutes he saw the game before. Add on a couple minutes, add on a couple more rebounds. Only had 2 rebounds that one. He's probably going to get a couple double-doubles by the time this month's over. And 81 is just a nice price tag on a guy that's just dominating the usage on a team. At small forward here, Kawhi and Paul George. Looks like Paul George is going to play in this one. If he is, then take a wait-and-see approach on the Clippers. I definitely think you can still go to Kawhi at 9,700, but with all the other players on the slate that are so cheap, I think it's definitely a tough decision. If you scroll here down to like 5K, you got Covington, a decent option. OG is out, so that's going to bump Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. PJ Tucker is going to have to play a lot of minutes, although 4,700 for him is kind of where he should be. House is doubtful, and Gordon is out, so the Rockets are thin. I'm liking Dylan Brooks for a couple reasons that I've said. He's so cheap. The Hornets are terrible defensively, giving up almost the most points per game in the league. Just a couple teams beat them, 113. They gave up a high field goal percentage. Brooks is definitely not afraid to shoot the basketball, and he's one of the few guys on the Grizzlies that if he's playing well, he will see 35 minutes. They haven't been willing to give Valanciunas over a lot of 30 minutes. They haven't been willing to give the rookie John Moran a lot of minutes, but Brooks has been seeing a lot of minutes when he's playing well and out of foul trouble. Another misprice is Anthony Davis here, 9,400. We'll see. Last time against the Suns, he did leave the game, but then he came right back, so I don't know what it was. I'm assuming he plays in this one. If he does, he can definitely look his way. He's just so cheap. Or you could definitely go to Pascal Siakam, who at 8,700 has, I would definitely say, similar upside just because he's playing more minutes. If you give Pascal Siakam 6 more minutes than Anthony Davis, I would say that he has similar upside. The matchup is really good. The Blazers have been getting wrecked by bigs, especially power forwards. Just with their injury, they're defending their power forward position with Mario Hezonja, Anthony Tolliver. Pascal should absolutely destroy those guys. I gotta like him a lot. And then cheap options here. You could go Draymond at 56. That's pretty cheap for him. I like Jaren Jackson at 4,800. Just another guy that can crush his salary. Coming off of a 44-point fantasy game, his price tag dropped by $500, and the matchup improved a ton against the Hornets team. He's taken 17 shots the last 2 games. Looks like he's finally breaking out of his funk. He's just so cheap. 4,800 for a guy like him that has 40-point upside is really, really appealing. I also like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who's going to probably start in place of OG Anunoby. He was the backup to him, played 29 minutes. Was solid, just a couple 1 point and 1 rebound shy with double-double. He's definitely interesting on this slate. And then you could even go back to Boucher, 4,300. Another guy that's going to see minutes just because they're so thin on bodies. I think I'm probably going to go with Jaren Jackson, although I like those other guys as well. As center here, you got Embiid. Probably the least appealing play, just because it is a back-to-back and the matchup is so tough. Probably the least appealing play out of the top 3 guys, I'm saying. Like Towns, I'll probably rate him first. Towns, Davis, then Embiid. Embiid had a big game, 61 fantasy points, played 35 minutes. The Magic are very good defensively. I could see this game just being like a slow-paced, low-total game, low-scoring game. Both teams are good defensively. I kind of like Vucevic a little bit just for tournaments, just because he's had some big games against the Sixers in his career. It is a revenge game for him if you're into that kind of stuff. Clint Capella is interesting just because he is just been dominating the glass. He's playing a ton of minutes. 20 rebounds last couple games. He has ability to put up a huge game with the blocks in the blocks department. Really good at just pulling in rebounds. He's not been really letting, even though Russell Westbrook gets his rebounds, it's definitely not come at the expense of Capella like it did with Adams. 7,400 with a guy that has 50-point upside. Maybe even 60-point upside is definitely appealing. Hassan Whiteside, another guy, 6,400 is a nice price tag. Matchup's tough, but he has been pretty consistent all year, getting 40s. Valanciunas still doesn't play a ton of minutes. I don't think he's going to crack 30 minutes for a while, just because they have backups. They have Jaren Jackson that can play the 5. They have Clark. So I think he's a fine play, but when we got guys playing 44 minutes a game, it's pretty easy to go up to them. I definitely don't want to play Zeller on this slate. And then with the Celtics missing Daniel Tice, he's doubtful. I was hoping Enes Kanter would play more than 6 minutes, but Tice played decent amount of minutes. He drew the start in the game against Dallas. Maybe because they played 2 stretch bigs with Porzingis and Kleber. But at 4,600, I think you got to look at Kanter's way, especially if he starts. If not, he could go to Robert Williams. One of those two is going to start and see over 25 minutes. I could see them just split right down the middle, but they're both interesting. So that's kind of where I'm looking here. I like Siakam. You can play him at center if you want. If not, you can play him at forward. He's appealing. And then the other guy that I mentioned that's cheap is Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, just because 4,500 for a guy. He had some big games with the Nets. I expect him to play around 30 minutes again. Price tag is, kind of where it should be, but it's still a little bit cheap because he has 30-plus point upside easily. And the matchup's really good against Portland. They're bad against bigs. They're bad at rebounding the basketball. So I like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. I kind of like those 3 Raptors are my favorites just because those 3 are gonna start. They're priced really nicely and they are gonna play a ton of minutes. Except Hollis-Jefferson might see under 30, but should see right around 30. That's it for this one. That is what I am liking. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can like the video if you enjoyed, and good luck on this one.